Hi, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. First, I want to connect with divine source, infinite intelligence, ancestors that are for our highest evolving and elevation. I connect with you in this moment, and I'm grateful for this communion. Allow these messages to come forth with clarity, that I may speak with discernment and integrity. Thank you for the wisdom and the guidance. Now we may begin. So we'll see what guidance, what insight, and what clarity is coming forth for you. And some of you may have noticed I've taken some time, or my readings are sort of sporadic lately. And that's okay too, because life happens. But I do want you guys to know that I miss you when I'm not here, and no, I'm not going anywhere. And thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your presence, your essence, and your energy. Thank you. Okay, so coming right out, we have the hornbeam, juniper, and the Scots pine. So let me see if you can see. Scots pine. This is what the juniper tree looks like. And this is hornbeam. So today's messages are definitely speaking about strength. Your strength to persevere is what I'm getting here. With the Scots pine, it speaks of construction. So like you building in your life. For some of you, this is building spiritually. For others of you, this is taking what you've built in the spiritual and bringing it forth into this material realm. So take it as it resonates. Some of you are under construction spiritually. Others of you are constructing things in the spiritual to manifest into this material realm. And then we have the hornbeam. And the hornbeam is about your strength, the spiritual strength that you have, the strength that it's taken to go through this construction for some of you, and the strength it takes to actually put in the work, to do the work, to bring forth the things that you're manifesting in the spiritual, to go through the spiritual battles, warfare, and still continue to know that you're connected to a benevolent universe and that all things are possible. That many of you are definitely at this time with the juniper tree here connected to spiritual realms. Okay? So again, take that as it resonates. Many of you are under construction in the spiritual realm, like your ancestors, the Most High is working with you, and or, because it could be both, some of you are constructing things spiritually. You know that you're connected to the spiritual realms, and you know that things happen in the spiritual before they actually manifest into this material realm. So the construction comes forth and takes place in the spiritual realm first. And this is where the dance starts to unveil. As you're getting your tools together, you've set your plan in motion, I just heard you drew up the blueprint. So what I'm getting here is many of you have set the intentions. You've put the plan in motion, and now you've collected your tools, or you've gained more spiritual tools. Take it as it resonates. And you're now ready to lay the foundation. And this isn't going to be some weekly drawn foundation. You've got the best materials, and the best materials came because you're connected to the Most High. You listened to your intuition and connected with your ancestors and your spiritual team, and they were like, yes, take this porcelain that's some of the best. Use this marble countertop. Like, they've given you the instructions, the guidance, illuminated your path is what I'm getting here. And many of you are like, okay, spirit team, ancestors, most high, I'm ready here. Like, I've done this sacred healing, and I thank you for connecting with me to encourage this sacred healing, for assisting me in constructing, so like laying out the process for your sacred healing. For many of you that came into you going within and learning how to love self first, have respect for self first, knowing how to set boundaries. Like, there's many tools that you gained along this healing journey, and it's a sacred journey of healing for many of you. For some of you, I get even the medicine drum. You've learned how to attune to certain frequencies and recognizing how certain frequencies affect you physically, mentally, and spiritually. And that brings me to music for some reason. Like, I'm getting something with music. So some of you may recognize that you don't even listen to the same music that you used to listen to, because it doesn't resonate with you mentally feeling better. See, music has a way of not even needing your permission. It goes into the frontal lobe and then it can take root. And so it's like the things that you're listening to constantly becomes the song of your soul. When I say it becomes the song of your soul, it's because it becomes programmed. You don't even pay attention to it. So if you're listening to something that tells you that you're always going to be struggling, that the struggle is real, then baby, you're going to be calling forth that struggle to be very real in your life. If you're listening to music that tells you, or even people, I'm also getting, because it's frequency and vibration, right? And when people speak, it's their words, it's their frequency. So if you're constantly listening to music that's talking about these hoes ain't loyal and men are all dogs, or men do this or women do this, if you're listening to influencers that have your ear constantly and all they're talking about is how this man is a simp because he cares for his woman, or this woman is the epitome of whatever, you've listened, come on, like, I don't have to spell it out for you. You've heard this war against the masculine, the war against the feminine, and how they'll keep you constantly at odds. When you put that into your spirit, into your soul, then that's what you're also manifesting, because it's already gone in. It's already been programmed. And so subconsciously, even though that's not what you want to see in your life in any way, shape, or form, because you don't recognize or realize that something has been programmed into your subconscious because you're continuously listening to this influencer or listening to this music, that subconsciously that's what you're calling forth. And that's the truth with the plant medicine coming out here. That also becomes your truth, because that's what you're allowing your subconscious to be programmed to. So what I'm getting is that many of you have done this. When you do construction, sometimes you have to go in and what is it where they tear everything down, like demolition? You got to go in and tear it all down. So subconsciously, many of you are going to have done or going to be, depending on where you are on the timeline, going in and having to do the demolition work on your subconscious mind to tear up certain programs and to consciously make the decision not to allow certain frequencies into your new construction as you're laying a foundation. It's like you're healing your mind, body, and soul, right? But this took some demolition of programs, limiting beliefs that many of us were programmed with. Not even sometimes recognizing, because some things have happened since you were a kid. Like, you've grown up with a certain quote unquote tax bracket, or that no one in your family has ever seen $1 million. So in your mind, you may find it difficult to actually see yourself as being a millionaire. Or we could take it on a love vibration where you haven't seen successful relationships between a masculine and a feminine. And so it may be difficult for you to also visualize yourself having a successful, beneficial connection in that way. Okay? And this is where the construction takes place. See, I was just talking about how some of these programs have occurred since we were children. So some of you have done the work in the spiritual realms to demolition those foundations so that you can create a new, firmer foundation. You put yourself under construction by starting with your inner child. Like, that's where the root of a lot of these problems needed to be torn down, plucked up from. And so, depending on where you are on the timeline, this is where you're getting ready to lay a firmer foundation. This is where you've connected and allowed this sacred healing to come forth. For many of you also, it's like, now that you're setting this foundation, you know that you've tapped into wisdom by connecting with the spiritual realms. Many of you, as you're going through this construction phase and connecting with the spiritual realms, it's allowed for the ancient wisdom and miracles, because you've become more aware of not just what's in front of you with your two eyes, you're aware with your senses and your first or third eye, however you choose to say it. But all in all, that's connecting you with this ancient wisdom. It's connecting you with being able to remove obstacles. It's also connecting many of you with earth magic here to knowing how we are all connected as one. There are so many gems, pearls of wisdom that you can get just from connecting with Gaia, with Mother Earth, with paying attention to nature and how things move in cycles, how everything has its season. And so that's also for some of you as well. You've been under your season of construction, and now it's time for you to come into the season of where everything is, you're able to see what it is that you've built. Okay, you did the demolition, you've done the demolition. You laid the foundation. Now, let's take that back. You've done the demolition. You set the blueprints, gathered the tools and the proper materials, and now it's that phase where it's all coming together and you can see the energy that you put into the work, and now your work is ready to be presented, I just heard, for some of you, but also to just reap the benefits of the work that you've put in. Some of you didn't think it was possible, and that's why it feels like it's a miracle right now. Many of you also had to, as you went within, learn your boundaries. And the boundaries that you've gathered and learned is a part of your protection. It's how you honor yourself. It's how you honor the feminine of yourself, whether you're a man or a woman. When I say honor the feminine, it's because you set a boundary and then you know that you attract what's coming, what's most beneficial for you, to you, and to come through you, because the feminine aspect of you is also where things are birthed. So it's like you tap into your masculine, you gather the tools, you set the plan, and now that all the work has been done, the construction has been completed, you're now ready to attract whatever it is you set that intention for, the building, for the garden, like whatever it is you've constructed for the project, for yourself and your life. I'm getting you're now ready to attract that abundance. You've done the construction. You've been active. Now it's time to balance it out with the attraction instead of just the action. There needs to be the balance of action and attraction. Okay? And that's where many of you are in this present moment. I just heard 3038. Hold on, let me check that number for you. 3038. 3038. What is that? So the 3s and the 8 could be very significant for many of you. Let me see. 30, 38. What is going on here? Do that again. 30, 38. Yeah, do your thing. 3038 is 3038. If you're seeing this number, it's a message from your angels to focus on your spiritual journey and growth. Trust in your abilities and your inner wisdom. 3038 brings a message to take an honest look at where you are spending your time, energy, effort, and emotions. Be grateful whether you get what you want or not. The spiritual meaning of the prophetic number 3038 is a twin flame number that reveals that life is full of second chances. Okay, so 3038, take it as it resonates. That's 3 different aspects of it. So one of those aspects could most benefit you, 2 or all 3. And again, the prophetic messages for 3038 are that your angels want you to focus on your spiritual journey and growth, and to trust in your abilities and your inner wisdom. Also, 3038 brings a message to take an honest look at where you are. This is where those of you who are under construction, to look at where you are in the process and where you're spending your time, energy, efforts, and emotion as you're constructing. Where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your emotions? Okay, take an honest look at that. And then for those of you who are resonating with the twin flame journey, it says to be grateful whether you get what you want or not. The prophetic meaning for 3038, the twin flame number, reveals that life is full of second chances. So for some of you, you may be getting a second chance with a twin flame. Take it as it resonates. It doesn't have to be. That could also be what's under construction. So that's bringing me back to before I started this reading, right? I was doing a small meditation and I got something that started to talk about the twin flame journey. Okay, so when most of us think of the twin flame journey, we don't think of it in a very beneficial light, is what I'm gonna say. That's not the word I want to use. It's like, okay, I'm gonna call it how I heard someone else say it. I think it was another reader, and they were saying that most time the twin flame just come, like you never really see them in union, that the twin flame comes so that you yourself can get on your path and elevate. And I'll say yes, that may be one aspect of it, right? But when I was in this meditation, I got how one person's thoughts and actions can change the path. Okay, so what I was shown was It's our thoughts, right? So if multiple of us are thinking twin flames are only to come to put you on your journey, and as I said, that may be one aspect of it, but we don't think that they're supposed to be together, then that's what's resonating out. We are a collective. We can change any narrative. So the divine is how I'm getting this. Is showing me that there are twin flames that are going to come together, that are going to elevate the collective and show how the divine feminine and the divine masculine come together. That's for some. Take it as it resonates. If this is your message, you'll know you will not have come across this video by chance, okay? Use your discernment when it comes to that. So what I was also given with that was with slavery, right? At one point in time, because I was talking to one of my brothers the other day, and they were saying, we were just like discussing, and he was saying like how you can't come against the system. And I had to say to him, like, if that were true, then many African Americans would still be in slavery. Thank goodness for, and some say slavery didn't happen. Look, that's not what we're gonna focus on today. For those of you who know Jim Crow and know that certain things happen, then you're in the know, okay? And if you know, you know. My point for saying all of that is that one point in time, things were a certain way. So yes, big, profound, transformational changes can occur. And it can start with as simple as one person saying, there needs to be a change, and I am going to be the change I choose to see in the world. And for many of you, you've heard the name Harriet Tubman. That was one person that had a vision. You've also heard of Martin Luther King. That was also another person that had a vision. You guys also know of Farrakhan and his vision of seeing 1 million men. No matter what came out of it, it was the fact that there was a vision that was seen, and then the plans were drawn up, and then it was constructed. All that to say that even in the spiritual, there's this construction that's happening when it comes to twin flame unions. They weren't, how I'm getting it, they weren't always meant to just be your karmic partner. They came to teach you about self-love and setting boundaries. Yes, that's important, because the setting boundaries card even came out of here. But there's also the opposite side of that coin where you're to learn sensuality, where you're able to, as you gain trust in yourself, to be able to trust in another, to not have your heart chakra because of the things you've seen as a child. And I also get with this child is when you were innocent in the spiritual. A lot of times when I see the in the Kipper deck where it has the child card, I think innocence. So for many of you, even though you're an adult, it's just about the times where you've been in relationships and the innocence where you were free to love and give love, receive love freely was broken. This is what's being healed. This is a part of that sacred healing. For many of you, it occurs with the twin flame union, but it doesn't just have to be that. Yes, the twin flame is you learning the self-love, the self-respect, and knowing to take action, and then when to balance that out with just attraction within yourself. But there is an other side of that coin, because we're a collective. So yes, you honor yourself individually, but we come into this space, this earth space, earth magic, right? We come into this space to commune with others. The same way we can commune with our ancestors in the spiritual. Commune with the Most High, angels, and your spirit team. It's because you're not alone. And collectively, our energies are entangled. Okay? So take those messages as it resonates. I didn't know I was going to touch on that today, because when I got that in the meditation, I was just like thinking I was going to go on camera and talk about that twin flame thing, but the divine wanted that message out now, and so the message has been given. Take it as it resonates with you. Don't force anything. You have your own discernment, but there's a reason that that message has come out here today, okay? It's like we can change the narrative of, as a collective, of anything that we're displeased with, that isn't pleasing. We can ground into reality a more elevated path, is what I'm getting here. We can take the lessons we've learned from our ancestors and reprogram them to where they're able to shift and know that we're connected to a benevolent universe and cause things to go in a more balanced way, is what I'm getting here. I just heard something about ancestors that were shapeshifters. So some of you have this gift as well. I'm hearing choose wisely how you use that gift, okay? If you know, you know. Some of you know you have the ability of being a shapeshifter. Now, this could be on different levels. Sometimes the shapeshifting is you being able to shift your perspective. Others of you, there are energies that are able to shift. I'm going to chalk that up to this. We fight not against flesh and blood, but principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. So when you have certain gifts, use it with discernment. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Again, if you know, you know. Okay, let me see. Where are we? Thank you. Yeah, again, something about many of you coming into the awareness of certain gifts, because you're connected with the spiritual realm, and the juniper is considered a very magical tree, right? So there's something going on within the spiritual with those of you who are learning about these abilities, shape-shifting abilities. Some of you who are learning that you were connected to ancestors. You have ancestors that were shapeshifters, family here, and magic. There's something going on within the family lineage. There is a change that is occurring. Something's being grounded into reality. For many of you, it's about this twin flame energy being grounded in, but it's being grounded in a more beneficial way. 25, 25, I got 25, 25, that's 7, and 51. And of course we had the 30, 38. There's a shifting that's occurring in the spiritual realm. And it's for a sacred healing. And this sacred healing, this shifting that's occurring, we have hotline here. So it's like this hotline is telling me that don't forget to give gratitude. If you haven't recognized that you have a direct connection to the Most High, it's like you can pick up your, you know how we all have cell phones, and so once upon a time you would have to, people could only reach you when you were home. You know, you had that phone that was connected to the wall. Now some of y'all can't remember this, so I might be aging myself right now with this reading, right? But it's all fine and dandy. When I was a little younger, we didn't have cell phones, right? Like I saw the cell phones come into existence, right? And at one point in time, there was just a phone that was on the wall, and we had a really long cord to it, right? And that cord could like stretch so that you could sit in different areas of your house, so that you didn't want your mama and everybody like all in your conversation while you talking to your friends, right? But the point of that is that I'm saying is that people could only reach you when you were home. Like there wasn't even, this is even before they had party line, or they would have to leave you a voicemail message, and the voicemail was something that was connected to the phone that sat on the table. Okay, I know I just aged myself there, but it's all good. So look, I said all that to say that now, the same way that the telephone has elevated and everyone has one in their hand pretty much at all moments or with them, then now people can get in touch with you whenever, however, wherever, right? And this is what this hotline is about. You have a connection to the Most High, like that you can get in touch whenever, wherever, and however. And it doesn't have to be through any specific way. Like and so why I'm going here is because many of you came up in very religious households, and so they told you you had to pray like this, or it only came when you got down on your knees, or this is the way you talk to Allah, and you had to say with your prayer beads, and and your head had to be covered. That's not what I'm getting anymore. It's like from your heart. The abundance flows from your heart. So when you need to connect with the divine, baby, you got a direct hotline. This is card number 12 here. 1 and 2 is 3. That's that Trinity. With you and the divine. And the Trinity I'm getting here is your higher self, the divine, and you. But you take it as it resonates. I also just heard the divine mother, father, and you. Creation energy here. That in whatever way you choose to connect with the divine, you have a hotline. The key is not to neglect using that hotline. Like you could have a phone in your hand all day, but if you don't click the buttons to make the call, so if you don't, from your heart space, choose to connect, tap into that hotline and use it. That's what I'm getting with this. That it doesn't have to be some specific way to do it. Just be like Nike and do it though. Because the divine is listening. And will always pick up the phone and send out the appropriate assistance, protection, guidance, discernment, insight, wisdom, clarity. I'm hearing ask for what it is that you want. Even if you don't use words, it can come through your heart space. Okay? And so as this time of reflection is happening, well, the card says reflection, but I was going to say this time of construction is happening. Don't forget those moments where you reflect. You go back, you check the blueprint, make sure the measurements are lining up the way so that the building's not leaning. I mean, what? I heard leaning Tower of Pisa. It was a famous mistake. So even through your mistakes, when you reflect and you see that something's off, you can connect to this hotline to ask the divine to give you the strength, the courage, the ability to still continue with your construction. Because the things that look like flaws I'm hearing or went off for some of you is actually what's going to be the thing that makes you famous. What? Or makes you infamous. I just heard. It's the thing that's uniquely you. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to grab some tarot and a few crystal cards before we wrap this up. Is there anything you had to add to this message? Anything? Thank you. So as many of you are going through this construction, we did just talk about this time to reflect. And this time to reflect is coming forth because the divine wants you to pay attention to the signs. Okay? You're paying attention to the signs so that you can notice where the construction is happening in your life for you. Hold, please. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I was saying that you're being encouraged to pay attention to the signs. And that's because for many of you, we have serendipity here. So paying attention to the signs, this is just like you're going to be in the right place at the right time for the right thing to happen for you. But if you're not paying attention, you may just think of it as, oh, I always go here, or that always happens for me, or I always do this. And the divine is saying, hey, 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 listen now. Serendipity is just about being in the right place at the right time because the right thing is occurring for you, okay? So pay attention to the sign. That's card number 10, which is 1, and card number 29. So I'm seeing 111. Some of you may be seeing that. Pay attention to the signs. We also had creativity come out with that. So again, the 7s are big. With this, pay attention to the signs. I get for some of you, there's going to be something that you're creatively doing. Like you may just be doing something that brings you joy, using your creativity. And there's going to be something that occurs. For some of you, you expressing your creative abilities or something that you're passionate about creatively is going to bring in the right connections. Remember we talked a second ago about famous and infamous. Something you're doing, for some of you, pay attention to the signs, is going to bring your work, your creativity, your passion into the right set of eyes, the right set of people, or in the right area. I just heard that, you know how they said sometimes for some of you, I get this energy, like for some of you, you may even be moving or something about a move, because I just heard, for some of you, take it as it resonates, like in your hometown. So what I heard was a prophet, sometimes is not as well received in their hometown. So for some of you, it's like the place where you are, your creativity is going to flow once you're in a different area, in a different space. Now, this could be a head space, you thinking, visualizing certain things happening for you. But for others of you, this is actually a physical space, you relocating. Okay, take it as it resonates. And I think that's everything. Okay, crystal cards and then some tarot to wrap this up, okay? What crystals do you have for this message? Thank you for the crystal healings that come forth to give us guidance and show us how we can amplify our energy to allow this construction to occur. Thank you for the crystal. Oh, I've never had these take that long to come out. Thank you. Okay. We have the kyanite. Do you want to know the first thing I noticed about all of these stones? They all have that air sky quality to them. Do you see the blue and the white? So we have the angelite, the moonstone, and the kyanite. Can you see those three beautiful crystals? It almost gives me like a painting that I would paint of the sky and the ocean with just a little bit of earth in there. You see that? Okay, so these three crystals. The angelite is a crystal of acceptance. It magnifies the energy of acceptance of situations that cannot be changed. Okay? So take it as it resonates. Okay, interesting. And the reason I say interesting is because we were talking about construction and certain things being under construction. So some of you may be in the energy, because remember with the Leaning Tower of Pisa, when we spoke about that, there were changes that could not be made. That's why that tower still leans today. In the construction phase, they had gone so far that it was like the only way to get it to go straight would be to tear the whole thing down. But that wasn't what the Most High wanted for it. To this day, I just heard to this day, that tower is still leaning. So for some of you, there's an acceptance of a certain situation that's occurring, a situation that cannot be changed. And for some of you, it feels extremely difficult. For some of you, this situation, it may be a death or a change in a relationship. So an ending to a relationship, and or for some of you, you have physically actually lost someone. This crystal can help you to magnify the energy of accepting the death of the relationship, the construction of the change that's occurring within you, because sometimes certain aspects have to die in order for something better to be created, or something other. It doesn't even necessarily have to be that it's better, but I'm feeling that it is better. The angelite, this one, when it's used with meditation, it helps you connect to the true meaning of acceptance. All things happen for a reason, and only the universe knows why. Okay? So, to any that have lost someone, my condolences sincerely. But I also want to add to that they're now an ancestor. And so for many of you, you have a stronger ally in the spiritual realm. Remember, the juniper was all about the spiritual realm. And that's why many of you may have this construction that's occurring within the spiritual realm. It's like this ancestor is there working things out for you so that you're able to accept the loss, but then that they can fill that space with something that also brings you joy, creativity. Okay? So again, for those of you who have lost someone or the loss of a relationship and you're coming into the acceptance of it, the angelite is a wonderful stone for that. Okay? And then we also have the moonstone. So right off the bat with the moonstone, I get this is about your intuition and tapping into your intuition. It allows you to connect to the moon, definitely. And the moonstone is a crystal that can magnify and assist you with your emotional ups and downs. So especially for those of you who lost someone or have recently lost a relationship, that's why these two crystals have come out together. The moonstone will assist you with the emotional ups and downs of this cycle, and the angel light will assist you with magnifying the energy of acceptance of these emotions and of this cycle. The moonstone is also a crystal that can bring balance to those emotions so that you don't feel like you're on such a intense roller coaster of emotions. The moonstone's a crystal that also assists you with the new beginnings. And when you hold a moonstone to your forehead, it can help you with these spiritual experiences, connecting to crossed over loved ones in the spiritual realm. And then the last crystal before we get into these tarot cards was the kyanite. And the kyanite's a very special crystal in that it retains no negative energy. So this one came out with the three of these to help you to assist you with cleansing away any negative energy, cleansing away and opening up the throat chakra. We have two cards that look like the throat chakra here, and a little bit of the third eye with the darker blue, and one that deals with the emotions, okay? So the kyanite will encourage you to express yourself through communications with everything that, with these cycles and this construction that's occurring. Some of you are going to construct songs through your communication about these emotions, this emotional roller coaster. That's a song too. Emotional roller coaster. I don't know the song right now, but I know it's a song, right? And so the kyanite can also assist you on the psychic plane, and it enhances your telepathic and your psychic abilities, okay? So where you're connecting with crossed over loved ones, for those of you who have those abilities, or you're just connecting with the spiritual realm, and or just needing to connect with your emotions so that you don't feel like they're so radical. So you don't feel bipolar. I just heard 1 minute you're real high and then the next you're real low, so that you can feel more stable and balanced in these emotions. We have the Page of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Strength card, and the Hierophant. So for some of you, there are messages that are coming in. This is you connecting to the spiritual realm. This is you being more balanced in your emotions when these messages come forth, because for some of you, it hurt. Everything that ended, the people you've lost, the people you had to let go of because it was time for you to elevate. Even though you wanted to hold on to certain people, the hurt is too much. And so many of you have to let go. Many of you are going to have to be okay with the acceptance of the situation, that it cannot be changed. For some of you, this was with family. For some of you, you've lost family members. For others of you, there's just been a change. But this is a necessary change. You're going into a new cycle. And yes, it's going to take you tapping into that strength to balance out your emotions, to balance and be in acceptance of the change of this cycle. For some of you, there's been a change in your marriage, so it's like it's ended for some of you. For others of you, you're changing organizations, like jobs. Some of you are changing friend groups. Some of you are deciding to let go of certain things and walk with the Most High. Some of you are putting an end to certain things you've been holding on to because you know that it's no good for you. And so you're having to accept that it's no good for you. Take an honest look at it, reflect on it. Forgive yourself. I'm also getting with this Page of Cups. Forgive yourself and accept the situation. Forgive yourself and accept what can't be changed, and be okay with only the universe knowing why certain things occur. Because in the moment, you may be looking at it like, why is this happening? But it's happening for serendipitous reasons. You may not be able to see the benefit in it at this moment. But as this cycle continues and you get more into it, you'll see the benefit of what's coming out of it. Okay? Take it as it resonates. That's not for everyone. But as this cycle is occurring, if you're ever in doubt that you're connected with the Most High, to give you strength and the ability to go into this next cycle and accept the changes that have occurred, don't doubt it. And use your crystals. Another crystal you may want to use is the malachite. We have the malachite here, the kyanite, the angelite, and the moonstone, to once again assist you with not retaining any negative energy, because 10 swords looks like negative energy if I ever saw it. To cleanse away this negative energy so that you're now able to express yourself, communicate with the world, and communicate with the Most High about these cycles, the ones that are ending and the ones that are beginning. Okay, I want to thank you for joining me, Tonae Star, here with Tonae Star Enterprises, where we stand on business. And this has been another voyage of the Enterprise to the 5D and beyond, to the spiritual realms. Remember to always shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you are still amongst the stars, and to always, 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 always let your light shine bright. Thank you.